I'm used to it. Make it touch screen. It's very practical. MashaAllah. Sorry?
I was just saying, in case you tried to poke at it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. ربي إني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. Chapter Inshirah. This is the last two verses, inshallah. Today we studied the previous verses quite in depth. Were you with us? Oh, no. Okay, you must be busy. Okay, but you can go over it. It was interesting, wasn't it? I found it interesting. For example, last week's discussion. It helps me anyway to develop my understanding of the Quran and makes me feel closer to it. It is interesting. So I can feel it, that this is with me. It is speaking to me and it is with me and I'm comfortable with it. Okay. Verse number 7. فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. Oh, it has a lot of meaning. But the translation is very simple. Read it, one of you.
Therefore, when you are free from one task, resume another task.
Now, the previous verse said, إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. And even one more preceding verse was, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Again, the same. Yeah? فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. We're introducing the subject. إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, confirming it, reassuring it. Definitely, with every hardship comes ease. Okay, and suddenly that's what the habit of the Quran is this. It suddenly changes the subject as if. But it doesn't. To me, it doesn't suddenly change. It goes into. There is one verse in the Quran. I am still struggling with this one verse. Bothers me. I didn't really connect it to its previous section. But the scholars speculated on it. What is the context of it? But I'm not going to tell this because it's irrelevant to our subject. But how the problem is solved. One scholar said interestingly that it is interesting that this verse actually belongs to where it is content is generally discussed. It must be there. But it is not there. It is here. And it looks as if it has nothing to do with it. But I'm saying as if, because I also couldn't know. Well, none of the scholars said it is related to the previous verses. No. I have never heard any scholar saying, serious scholars, maybe the ones who are not famous. There were many people, because they didn't go along with the existing system, administrative system, mostly sultans, they are not famous. So they might have come with a solution, but I don't know. When I cannot read thousands of books written on the Quran, thousands of them. But just the generally known famous ones. No, there is no. So one of them said, look, it is so obvious that as if this verse, that verse is dislocated. But what does it show? And of course, if it was the production of a person who's called Muhammad, Muhammad wouldn't put it there. But he knows that the main subject, the content of this verse is related to a main subject which is dealt in the Quran, which is practical one, by the way. It is about inheritance. So, but he would put it within these verses or together with these verses. No, he didn't. Although it was obvious. It should belong to there. Or said no. However it is revealed, he kept it. It is a sign that it is not a man production. If it was a man who wrote the book, who wrote the Quran, he would put it there. It is a rational thing to do that. I said, yeah, makes to a certain extent sense. Now, but the rest, as far as my studies showed me, I have no problem dealing with the verses, although they look disconnected from each other. Sudden jump from one subject to another. Now, here it is, one of them. Definitely, with every hardship comes ease. There is an ease. Within we said with means within. You must understand it. Within hardship, definitely there is an ease. You have to find it out. It means work on it. Do you understand? You were not there last week. You were.
I was here the week before. We talked about 5 and 6.
Depth of the meaning for 1.5 hours about this verse only. Huh? As far as I remember, only this verse. So in summary, we said, if you read the word with every hardship, within every hardship, there is ease, and it is your duty to find it out. So, because you have to think, oh, this is what the Quran says. Is it really true? Can I find any ease within the hardship? Then if you follow the guideline of the teachings of the Quran and main purposes of the Quran, definitely find it. If you don't believe, read, look at the words last week's, inshallah. I was satisfied with it. So you can read it practically. Within every hardship, definitely lies an ease. Lies ease. Right? So find out. It means find out. Quran gives guidance. Right? Mostly what does Quran do? Mostly gives the last point that human reasoning can reach. And in between leaves the gap. Empty. Omid said, in the story is also about the stories, mostly the ancient, whatever they are, tribes, but with the stories of these stories are directly related to our story, our life. But in the prophets, a lot, maybe a third of the Quran is about the life stories of the prophets and the ancient tribes, giving the examples to the reader. So you see that which puzzles these scholars of the, it goes back actually 18th, 19th, 20th, and now 21st century scholars, but Western scholars, they are used to tell the story in its complete form. Yeah, but they don't omit. They don't skip up something. But the Quran does. Why? I don't have to tell you. You can find it. You can fill in the gaps. You can do that. Come on, do it. It is a guide. But it doesn't give you the how to go there. But the Quran hints you, but it shows the last destination where You should go. And of course, if I'm going there, I have to search for it. And the search is within my capacity. Now, there is something here as well. So within every hardship there is ease. Find it. It's very easy to find it if you go back to the previous videos or records. Now, therefore, because this fa means because of this, because what I have shown you in the first phrase, first verse, if you follow this guideline in the previous verse, you can understand that when you are free from one task, it is the translation. If you have done something, performed something, well, I've done it. Resume another task because there is something behind it. Now, classical scholarship, well, it is not wrong at all, but it doesn't really directly relates to our problems. But in the classical scholarship, they say when you finish one work, a work that you are doing, a job you are doing, and don't say, okay, I'm done it and I'm going to sleep or I'm going to rest. Well, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't rest as much as you rest, but the task is over now, finished. I'm done, finished. No. Resume another one immediately. How can I relate this verse to the previous section? It means you will experience a hardship and there is a job for you now, responsibility for you now. Dig into it, you will find the ease in it. It means, okay, I've got it. For example, the very simple example that we keep giving it, maybe this is more than 100 times that we gave this example in this class. It's very easy. You are hungry, you find the food, and you set and eat. Right? You finish. No, it says there is something in it. I'm full now. What else do you want? No. There is something. Not that you are going to have coffee afterward. No. You have to search for something. Why is it that in this way? What is the meaning? What can be the meaning in the existence of this hunger and satisfaction? Hunger and satisfaction. What's the purpose? It doesn't seem to be an accidental, random things. I accidentally happen to be hungry. I accidentally happen to find the solution for it. Not complete correspondence to each other. But there is a need here and there is an answer to it. Prepared. Both of them are prepared consciously, deliberately. So you have to dig into it. So when you are free, now start questioning. Now start questioning the meaning in the task you performed. Even the task may be trying to understand the meaning of a verse in the Quran or the wisdom of the prophetic teaching. Okay, you read the hadith narration or you read the verse from the Quran, all right, and you read the translation, or if you know Arabic, okay, you understood the literal meaning. The task finished, I understood the meaning. No, there is some more. There is some more. Go further. Why? You will find the ultimate, absolute ease at the end for you. It will give you relaxation, satisfaction that my life, my existence, or my being in this position in need of this, and it is accomplished. Yeah. Everything in the creation, do you notice that? In the world, do you notice that everything is contradictory to each other? But at the same time, every contradiction is complementary. Do you notice this? No? Things, the nature of this universe is not full of contradiction. No, no, as far as human expectations, human capacity requires. When you look at this verse alone, this word alone, the universe alone, not related to its creator, just here I am, everything is contradictory. Why? Because I need air, and my lungs need air, and air exists there, complementary, because the air is a need for me. I am needy. Air is source of satisfaction. They are complementing it. Now, you have endless questions. If you question, of course, I would say, if you use your humanity, that human senses, you must have endless questions. And question, opposite of question, what? What is opposite of question? Answer. There is an answer complementing it, right? And in the physical world, within the physical world, we know that physically the things are contradicting to each other, right? The sun attracts the earth, and earth turns away from it. So, but the balance is so perfectly adjusted, attraction and repulsion are complemented to each other, complementary to each other. Yes? In animal life, there are millions of, they say 6 million of species have been created historically, not now present, most of them extinct. But they know the fossils, they are extinct, but they did not extinct within the knowledge of human capacity, the capacity of the human knowledge. God preserved the traces of them. So look, I created these ones as well. Eh? Take it into account. It is interesting that they are preserved in fossil forms. So we know that this kind of animals they found 6 million different. I'm amazed of that. Not one, even one is enough as an evidence, but not one, not two, not 100, 1,000, 6 million different. Every species is created with its opposites within themselves, male, female, attraction, the repulsion, etc. Yeah, they perfectly complement each other. Opposites complement each other. It's very amazing, and the Quran emphasizes on it. But it's so important that you know, if you, whether you are interested or not, but I'm not really hinting that you should, but if you study materialistic philosophers, pay attention what they are skipping, what they are skipping. They don't bring it into discussion at all. Yeah? What is that? It means they don't have the answer. That is an obvious. They are just escaping from it. For example, they don't really know the forms of the created being. For example, if you say, the plants behave in this way, so grow in this way, okay, in order to adopt themselves to the environment. Well, okay, there's a plant which has leaves. There are others which don't have leaves. There's a plant which grows in the summer. There are others in the winter. So if the environment helped one type of plant, in order to adapt itself to the environment, then the next plant has a completely different nature. Why the next plant has developed in a completely different nature? Within the same environment, within the same geographical or geological conditions. Why are they different? They don't know. They grew, they developed, and their forms. We know that, especially the pine trees or all the fruit trees, everything, and every tree has its own unique shape, form. That's why it is very important in the Quran, also emphatically mentioned, form. Yeah. For example, Wallahu al-Khaliqul Bari'ul Musawwiru. So important. Bari means gives something an original nature, form. Everything is original. Every plant has its own original nature, characteristics, form. It's original to itself. But if it was the effect of the environment, in one environment, there would be one type of tree. Why million? And all of them are complete in their form. And they never talk about form. It means they don't have the answer. Yeah. So it is important. It is important. Origination of the creation. They never talk about it. Then how the creation originated. Of course, they look at the origin of the creation or the universe at the very beginning. Now, because you know that until 1930, I think, and you must have heard of it, until 1930, people could claim that universe is eternal, no beginning. But this famous man, I mean, everybody knows this, Hubble was a famous optician on the optics, makes the lens and traces the light beams from the stars. He understood that every galaxy has different light shade. For example, starting from very dark, strong red, to the orange, to the brighter color. And why? They understood that the galaxies get older. It means some of them came into existence newly than the other one. Right? It is a beginning. So they calculated it. Then this famous, the man died, whoever it is, from Britain, I think Cambridge University, he was. Yeah. He took this and developed this Big Bang theory. But Einstein himself thought that the universe could be eternal. Yeah? They called him, come, look. And they showed the evidence is that, definitely it is a beginning. But it's observable in physical terms. Anyways, so they never talk about the origin of existence. What they say, the best explanation, and cosmologists came up, bang, Big Bang. It is a beginning, came into existence, and so what? Where? What's the origin of this existence? Of one atom, doesn't matter. I always say this, and also we have to be very comfortable about this claim. If somebody demonstrates to you, definitely, not interpretation, definitely demonstrates to you in the lab happening. One particle is coming into existence by itself. There is no need to believe in God. If one particle does this, the other also does this. Yeah, even it is not in the lab, but you can, because anything within the universe is coming into existence by itself. It means the other one also can come into existence by itself. It doesn't have an originator. But they have the origin of existence, but they don't know the originator. The origin of existence means within calculation on the scale. You can calculate it. Even some people say 13 billion years. Doesn't matter. It could have been 30 billion years old. As long as you calculate it, there is an order beginning. Sure. Yeah, the period maybe it's too long, or some Christians say no, just 6 million for the age of 6,000. The age of the earth is 6,000 for biblical narration. They read their sources like we read the Quran. If I ask you, how long did, for example, Noah lived? 950. How do you know? Did you find the fossils or something? No. Quran says so. Well, 950. What's the point? I mock with them. I said, okay, if it is 950, the Quran could have mentioned 950, not 1,000 minus 50. Do you think that the one, even Muhammad himself, doesn't know how to say 950? That's what he said. 1,000 less 50. There's a wisdom in it. What does it mean? It is not really the figure number. There's something else. It's not our subject. So we shouldn't read the Quran like some Christians accept the Torah. Not all the Christians accept Torah as the reliable source, but they only accept the New Testament. But they are few. Most of them accept the Torah tradition, Old Testament. So they read it. They said the life of the earth is 6,000 years. But anyway, they call it scientific research. Okay, research, maybe we don't say the research is wrong. I don't know. I have no claim. That's not my specialty. But the interpretation is my specialty. And they are interpreting it in a funny way. Where they cannot interpret it, they skip. So they say, okay, however happened, an atom came full of energy. Atom came and started exploding. Okay. However happened? How happened? Huh? What's the beginning? What's the first factor? This is the question that people started questioning and asking in the 20th century. Yeah, the scientifically confirmed, everybody agrees that universe is a beginning because it's evidence speaks in the world. Okay, everything needs evidence, by the way. Yeah, but it is the 20th century claim or understanding, realization. Muslim scholars talked about this. Every hadith must have a muhdith. Translate. Muhdith. Hadith, the one comes into existence after a certain time. Hadith happened, but sorry, no, not innovation. This but it's fiqh term. In theology is different. Every hadith, it means anything comes into existence at a certain point in time. But also hadithah is the new events. It means really news. Nowadays it's used, but modern Arabic uses it as a news. So, but the classical scholarship means anything, they explain, anything comes into existence at a certain time, it's a certain place in time. Hadith. So it means it has a beginning. Anything has a beginning must have a muhdith, originator of this beginning. gives existence to this beginning. Of course, in our class, what we understand from Hadith and Muhdith, everything is continuously changing every moment. Your existence comes into existence, your being comes into existence every moment within a different mode of existence. Do you understand this? Every moment you continues to change. I think when I first saw you, you were younger. Yeah. You are still young. I don't know. Let's be kind. They say, always, the man says, oh no, you are not very old. You are not very old. And after the person dies, he was really very old. So it is a hypocrite civilization. So they don't accept the things that human desires don't want it. But of course, I don't want to die, but not necessarily within the conditions of this existence. But I don't want to disappear from existence. Yeah, that's what we have to make the concept in a different way and understand it in a different way. I don't want to disappear from existence. Yeah, it doesn't mean that I don't want to. For example, when I was a baby, I didn't want to become a child. When I was a child, I didn't want to become a young man. No, I wanted. But when my young age passed, I said, I want to remain young. What's happening? Oh, okay. Now, that's a human desire. It is a desire pointing to the necessity of this eternal existence, not eternal life within the conditions of this universe, which is full of contradiction. So I don't want to be in a world where I only experience contradiction. I have to work really hard to overcome the necessities of my life in order to sustain it within the conditions of this universe. No, I want to be happy. Okay, it's not easy. So, what was the point? At the beginning, and anything has a beginning, must have an originator, starter, right? And this starter is called the one who brings the things into existence. And no one can show that anything in this world can bring anything else into existence. That is agreed. So what they say, we don't know, but it happened like this. And they use this very illogical sentence that we are getting older, we are doing this and that, but they don't say that it's not me who's making me older. But I can say that I'm getting older. Especially those people who claim that they are going to celebrate birthdays. Now, I was born. What? You were born? Really? Was it you? Yeah? Was it you that you brought yourself into human form, baby form? Did you? So how you say that I was born? And even if I say I died, when somebody died, I didn't die for the moment, but I don't know tomorrow. So I died. It was somebody died. It is not him. He's not the agent of death. Do you understand? He is death giving. He or she is death giving. Sorry, she is giving death. We have to realize this. Although in the language we use all this terminology, but illogical terminology, contradicting the reality. Anyways, they found out this everything. So one of the things that the scientists were related to our subject never mention about the purpose in existence, never mention about human responsibility as far as their existence is concerned, never mention about human senses. What is the source of existence of the senses? They can only examine the body, flesh, bone, blood, put it in it, and how the body mechanisms work. But they never talk about how these mechanisms came to existence from the beginning. They say, accidentally, it happened to take this form. But they cannot explain why you took this form as a male within the same environment, another one took a female, complementary each other. Why? But the same environment. So they said, if we are adopting ourselves, you are adopting yourself, then you cannot be a male or female as you want. It is given to you. But it is in the gene. It is the problem. Who organized the gene in this way? And who is functioning really to operate this gene? Because every moment, gene is changing human genome. Every moment, it is changing. Who's changing it? Can you change yourself? Can you make yourself younger or older? Can you? Who's changing it? The origin of change has never been taught. Just use what we see. The things are changing. That's we say. I am getting older. I am aging, as if I am aging. These are fine languages, and they never talk about these subjects. So what we have to do is very simple. When we experience something, yeah, the simple example, not make it complicated. Everybody experiences every day, at least 3 times a day. But in America, not 3 times a day. When they are sleeping, they don't eat and drink, or otherwise they always have something in their hand, drinking, eating. Right? So it's the fashion, so horrible. Anyways, they keep this need and satisfaction of the need. Okay? You experience that. So you add what's next. Resume another task. What means? Now, your physical need is met, satisfied. But you have to use your human feelings, human expectations, human intelligence, question. What is the point in it? So when you start digging into it, you understand, there is a existence. Okay. You found one answer. There is a purpose in this existence because it is a consciously designed, prepared creation or act of creation, because we have to say creation. So we say, look at the existence and see the creation aspect of it to understand the difference. But we use this word creation, existence interchangeably, but it's not really so. It's practical. It's a practical language. We need existence. Experience existence. But not everybody agrees that existence is an act of creation. Creation is something else. Creation infers what? The thing is coming out of nothing with an originator of the new phenomenon. It means new phenomenon. You were created in this way. Yesterday, today, different. Today is different. So what is the origin of this difference? Different existence. So that's why when you question it, it seems to be it is doing by itself, but can they do it? We have to question. So how many layers of tasks lies in one action? Question, 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 until when there is no end. But we have to dig into it. We have to dig into it because all the qualities we find in each action, right? I don't know biology, I don't know physics at all, but I know a little bit philosophy of the science or this kind of things, a little bit, not an expert, as a layman. We are sure, we understand as human beings that when they explain the action within a cell, which is amazing. Each cell has its own program. How many cells are there in a body of a person? In the body of a person, how many cells? Speak about millions. Yeah. Atoms, billions. Everyone has its own program. Now, you cannot say that this is the cell for complexion, skin, but your skin is different from here. So this cell works here and makes this shape, and the other one works another way. How about the nail? Completely different. Your tongue has no bone. Yep. And it is own function. It has the ability to detect the taste of whatever. That's what the babies learn, the word, whatever you give them, first thing is, what? Because they learn it with their tongue, taste, right? So this is, but next to the tongue, there are teeth. Completely opposite nature. What is the reason? Adapting themselves to the environment. So this cell produces teeth. Another cell next to it produces nothing with bone and has different qualities, completely different qualities. So although they don't mention because it is mind-blowing. Every single cell has its own unique program and perfectly works in harmony with the other millions of cells in one body. And my cells are not like your cells. Yeah, that's why people have hard time, the scientists, biologists, or other medical or professionals are having hard time to make, for example, the kidney transportation, heart transportation, to adapt the new body. They have to support it externally because the programs are different. They are to make it compatible with each other, with external factors. Right? So you wanted to say something at the stage?
Questions?
Yeah.
Should I go ahead?
One. If you have more than one, you use S at the end.
Mhm.
So one by one. Okay.
So I guess the first one is after being mindful of the contradictory yet complementary existence and the fact or the truth behind that there is an originator behind
Each action. Each quality.
Yes.
Mhm.
So after being mindful of this,
Mhm.
I'm trying to relate it to the verse that we just studied, right? So when you are free, resume. What I'm able to understand so far is that I'm constantly questioning the purpose in
Actually,
yeah.
deliberating on it.
Okay.
Deliberating. It is dhikr,
Mhm.
Dhikr is not questioning. Dhikr is
Being conscious.
using, benefiting from the previous conclusions and building up one step ahead by remembering it. It was like this. How can I apply it to a new situation, new creation? That is dhikr. Yeah, don't misunderstand. Dhikr is repeating the one word. Maybe for some people, not for you. So some people, they cannot read a question. So, okay, this is remembrance. That is the Quranic word. Is a very, very important word. Dhikr is the Quran itself is a dhikr. Okay.
So I guess you partially answered the second question, which is
How about the first question?
oh yeah, that's answered.
Sorry.
So that was the question.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
And so the second part is the verse says like when you are free, resume. I was gonna ask like, are we
Farate, as you said, free from one task. Now, farate not free from one task. When you faragam, which means, for example, I have nothing to do with you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our ways are separated. So when I am done with you, it means faragha. فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ, when you have done with something, and free from means accomplish it, finish with it. Okay.
So I guess in that case, we're resuming, the same path or the same
Method, maybe.
method.
Yeah,
Sure.
method.
In that case, are we truly free? Because it doesn't seem like there's an alternative to not resuming.
Not resuming another one?
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
No, I don't think there's an alternative. I think you're always resuming another, whichever word you want to use
Okay.
for it.
Have you studied physics at the high school level? Maybe in your college level as well?
Yes.
Yeah. The teacher writes the formula, okay? And in mathematics, they write the theorem, okay? And that's it. You learn the formula. Do you leave it like this, or what do you do? How many exercises, different exercises, through different alternatives, you have to do it. That is the assignment. Now, this is the formula, but application of it has endless. So when you are done with the one stage of understanding, and it may, if it makes sense to you, don't say I am done with it, because let's say when we simply study the universe, we see that it is not an existence, but it is an act of creation, which within the conditions of this world, we call it existence. Something exists, but the things don't exist by themselves, right? For example, is there any computer, let's say on one computer here? So is there any computer on the table? Say, yeah, there is. So I can conclude there is one computer which exists on the table. Is there anything wrong with this language? Or everything is wrong with this language? No. The computer doesn't exist there on the table. Exist means being a being there. No. Somebody has the origination of the computer to be here. At least not to make it is another problem. But you say, who put the computer here? And then there is another question. Why? What is it good for? And what qualities it has? So is there any end? You have to finish all the content of the technology of computer science and also programs. Is there any end? No. There are still ways and possibilities to develop new types of computer and new forms of programs, right? There is no end. So task has no end. That's what we are going into. Shall I continue or would you?
I think
Yeah.
the last bit is kind of, I guess it's worth being mindful of it. So the third point that I had was going from being free to resuming, going from like one to the second stage. How much of it is actually dependent on my will versus me just being conscious of what's happening already?
But you have to contemplate, ponder over the things which is happening already front of you or in front of your observation.
Right.
Right? So when you question the existence, you have to question the quality of the existence. It means when you examine the existence of a thing, you are observing the creation process of a thing. In fact, creation of it, how it came into existence. When you examine the creation aspect of that thing, and whatever it is, maybe you are looking at an apple, eating a banana or orange, whatever. So the existence of it is there. What we do usually, we stop. No, it is created by a God, alhamdulillah. But who is this God? Which qualities you have experienced here in the existence of in this act of creation of the orange? Which qualities do you see? Layers and layers and layers. So don't say that God has 99 names. It is ridiculous. What do you mean? God's qualities are endless. How do you do that? How do we understand that? Because the quality is manifested in the every act of existence, endless. In the act of creation, sorry, not act of existence. There's no act of existence. There's the act of creation. So in the act of creation, the quality is manifest. That's why the qualities of the things have no end. People keep searching, and coming up with a new quality they found in the act of creation, although they say in existence, but that is a materialistic view. Act of creation. So every quality is a sign of what? The quality of it is maker. Quality of it is creator. It's the act of creation. You observe nothing but the qualities of the creator. So since there is no end that we can come and reach to find out the qualities manifested in the existence of the created beings, it means who will conquer? That means
The qualities of the creator are endless as well.
endless. 99, of course, well, but it is mainly described in it's not an hadith, by the way. It's 99 names. It's not one hadith. It's collected. And the ulama scholars put it in a certain form and made it 99. But in fact, in Arabic, 99, yeah, saying means a lot. Something like 1001. What does it mean? 1001? What does it mean? More than thousands. Now, that is what certain class of people, or not the profession, certain people with different approach to the Quran. Hadith critics say 99. Finish. In the Hadith. It's ridiculous anyway. But some people say, those people who have a Sufi tradition tendency, they said 1001. Right? They increase the name because they are contemplating on the creation deeper than this classical straight-minded scholars, imitating the text only and literally. So they are open-minded, but very rare people say endless, because you cannot get to the end of the qualities manifested in the act of creation. Yeah? Can any physicist, any biologist say that we discovered everything as the quality of the things that we are studying? Even the number, not the qualities, number of the galaxies is increasing every decade. The number increasing every decade, not the qualities. So it means this one, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. Oh, but you may be surprised, because the people say, when you are done with a job that you are doing, repairing the window, for example, and then don't leave it, go and repair the, for example, the roof or the floor. It means don't say that I'm finished. No. If you have to do something, there is no, in the fiqh, according to Islamic fiqh rules, there is nothing in the world. Somebody must help me here, Arabic native speakers among us. Mu'attal, ta'til, atale. What is atale? Atale, yeah. Atale, laziness. What they say? There is another word for it.
Something that is idle.
Idle, yeah. Mu'attal. For example, if you don't use this computer anymore, you throw it there, but I may need some parts. And somebody says, can I use your computer? No, it doesn't work. It is mu'attal. Atal. That is the usage of the language. So in again, traditional Islamic teaching, human beings cannot have ta'til. In Arabic, in English, the ta'til is translated as what? Holiday. It means you don't have to do anything today. But alhamdulillah, we see in Jewish tradition, Saturday, the Yom Sabt, Saturday is their holiday. But they are, the Saturday is the busiest day for them, which is very interesting, which is the Muslims need to learn from them. This one. You know why? Whole Saturday, they are prohibited to deal with the word, anything. They have to study Torah, reflect on the teachings of the Torah, and talk about the content of Torah teaching. What we do, we are behind the Jewish tradition in this sense. Tradition I am talking. What do we do? We go to Friday prayer, 15 minutes, because you don't have to listen to khutbah. It doesn't matter. If you don't listen to khutbah, it doesn't mean that you missed Friday prayer. No. So just join 2 rakah. It takes 10 minutes, and in some mosques 5 minutes, depending on the imam. If he recites the Quran really with a beautiful music, then he recites longer. So he's proud of his voice, vocalization of the text. If somebody is like me, the shortest, because I know people are not enjoying my voice, not the Quran, my voice. So anyways, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Afterwards, ta'til. But I said the most pious ones, what do? They come to the Friday prayer early, because there is a hadith. One hadith encourages people to read Surah Kahf on Friday. They come there, read Surah Kahf, finish. Oh, we have to have some sort of Yom Sabt on Friday, which means leave the worldly aspect of our engagements and look at the meaning, study the meaning. Yeah? Reflect on it. Talk about it all day. But even they reduce it, the Jewish tradition reduces it not to start a light. It means, it's obvious, isn't it? It means you should even not cook. Don't keep yourself busy with the material things, dunyawi, worldly things. Even, they omit even, they say, we don't have to cook, we don't have to use fire. And we shouldn't, not we don't have to, we shouldn't. And that's it. But unfortunately, but some of them are sincere religious Jews. They really sit and study and talk about Torah. But they are fear. Anyway, whole Saturday, because they understand you shouldn't use the fire, even the fire. It means don't deal with anything, although it seems to be the food, preparing the food is one of the essentials of life. No, do it before, leave Friday, Saturday, for only within in our language, what? The meaning of the creation. Not the creation material things themselves. Meaning of the creation. Right? Because what they do, because when you start the engine of the car, what you do, you ignite. And it is prohibited. Fiqh, according to fiqh rule, fiqh of Judaism. What do they do? Somebody, are you Jew? No, come on, start right there. God, I've got to do so that you can start. So in some parts of the world, Muslims and Jews live together. Ask the Muslim neighbors of the Jew community, they come there. For example, Ya Aisha, yeah, can you warm this food for me? Because I cannot start a fire. How ridiculous is it? Do you notice? Do you notice or not? But this is a very important point. I'll tell you something. Is it ridiculous or not? Reducing this literal commandment in its literal sense is ridiculous, isn't it? Yes or no? It is trick. Excuse me, we reduced the Quran to fiqh rules only. What is the difference? It's a very sad reality. Fiqh rules on what we know about religion is fiqh rules. According to this mazhab, according to that mazhab. You can know when I studied fiqh for years, but you can know, but it is not really related to the teachings of the Quran. Really, partially, yes, very, very small amount, 3% of the Quran is related to that. Even not 3, but if you take it globally, yeah, one verse is directly dealing with the fiqh matter, maybe, but most of the verse dealing with fiqh matters includes iman, teaching, education as well. But it's a big, big, big problem. So, do we understand now? Not when you finish, when you are done with something, and then immediately, because this verse, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ, the fa is a very important link word, yeah, in Arabic and in language of the Quran. You read it like this: فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ, sorry, إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, the previous one, it is 6. With every hardship comes ease. فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ, the translation said, therefore, because of the thing that I mentioned you in the previous verse, when you are done with one task, with one work, resume another one. But those people who are familiar with it, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ, okay, fa is therefore, fansa again fa. What does it mean? Now, when you are done with one work, it means when you realize that the things are created, not doing one job. And for example, you are, I don't know, cooking one food, we are very good at it. And then cook another one. But Fa means here immediately afterwards. No gap. It means, reflect on it. You understood that it is the easiest quality that we can understand, that things are created. So therefore, reason about it, there must have a creator. They must have a creator. Okay? Okay. Finish? No. Immediate afterwards, which kind of creator? He is or it is. You don't know yet. The creator, a creator it means. Which kind of creator is it? Immediately afterwards, you shouldn't say, I believe in God because the universe definitely is created by something, and this something I call God. All right? Just I'm done with it. I believe in God. Yes, because God must exist. Definitely. Why? Because I cannot really attribute the universe to something else but a super being, or you can call it supernatural being, or metaphysical being, whatever the name you use. A thing not of the nature of universe. That is, we understand in this class. We emphasize on it 1,000 times, 1,001 times. Yeah. So definitely something which is not a part of this universe. Okay. I believe in God. La ilaha illallah. No? I am a Muslim. I'm done. Yeah. Okay. Fukan, yes. When you die, after saying La ilaha illallah, what is good for you? You bury you in a Muslim cemetery. That is good for you. Now, people, that they used to say La ilaha illallah, so let's bury him. What benefit you get out of La ilaha illallah? Yes, there is a creator. So what? I believe in God. But you believe in God, or for what? What is not for what the reason? That you reason. Yes, that's correct. There must be a creator whom we call God. Okay, but did it finish? Fence up. Immediately after, start questioning which kind of God is. So, which kind of qualities I can see in his work? Is there any end? The qualities in the creation? Is there? No. Is there? Why do you silent? As if
Reflecting.
reflecting. Is there any end to the qualities reflected in the act of creation?
No.
No. Right? So it means the creator has endless qualities. If the creator has endless qualities, if you are given the ability to question it, which kind of qualities? What are they? It means you are invited to investigate into it. There should be no gap. So what you have to do now, that the dhikr now, the process is it seems to be very difficult. No, it is not difficult. You go to the school, okay? Let's say you are a student in the middle school, okay? What you have done before, you graduated from the primary school. So when you go to the first year in the middle school, it means your grade is 11 years old, or somewhere around there, yeah? 11 years old, 12 years old. So the 12th grade, 12K, is it right? In middle school.
12 years old.
Yeah, 12K. Yeah, 12K. 12,
Sixth grade.
sixth grade. Yeah, sixth grade. Okay. Finish? Sixth grade finish? No, you go to the second school. What do you do? Secondary school. What do you do in the secondary school? You use your previous accumulated information, experience, and you remember them. Look, dhikr, that's the problem. We have to understand dhikr rightly. You remember them, and you have to go one step ahead. In the middle school, first year. Middle school, second year, third, etc. So you remember the previous knowledge you acquired. That is dhikr. Now you have to go one step ahead. It means if you are satisfied about one quality of the Creator, go into investigating another quality of the Creator. Another quality, yet another, endless. That's why Quran says, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. When you are done with one stage of understanding, immediately afterwards, use this and go one step ahead. Right? This means. But it doesn't say after a certain point you are done, stop. That's enough. You got the end. Even the worldly studies. Some people, high school, college, etc., and master degree or the graduate degree and the PhD, and then further go into postdoctoral study and research. Yep. And they say they become a professor, let's say now, but not the lazy professors, but the good professor. They got excited more about their subject, going into the details, discovering new things. They make more research than before. They get excited if they are really thirsty or if they are really excited about their new findings. But the lazy ones, after they get tenure, they sleep. They repeat. But it is not the way. But is there any way that we should stop? No. That is why I say, look, we have to compare the civilizations. In Islamic civilization, there is no interest. In materialist civilization, there is. It is legitimate. In Islamic civilization, there is no advertisement. In materialist, yes, you can cheat people in a kind way. In Islamic civilization, there is no what was the other one that just came to my mind? I didn't list it before. Insurance. Why? The worldview doesn't allow you to feel secure in this world. That's it, guarantee. Somebody else will take care of it in this world. But in Islamic civilization, state takes care of it with no insurance. Or the public, if you are hungry, state has to feed you, right? That's his job. If you are ill, state has to take it. But there is no personal insurance. And so there is no way for insurance companies. Another, you might not have heard of it. In Islamic civilization, there is no retirement. There's no retirement. It means because you see that the professors reach 65 years of age, then they become a young professor. After 65 years, they have to get out of their profession. But they can teach, not a full-time teacher. It's a full-time professor. So because they don't want to stop, they are excited about their findings in this world, worldly affairs. So there's really no retirement in Islamic civilization. As long as you can work, you have to work. If you don't, society have to take care of you. State take care of you. In Islam, there is no state. Administration, Muslim administration has to take care of you. But as long as you can do something, you have to do it. This is in worldly terms. How about a mu'min in his iman research? Is there any retirement? After 65 years of age, you should stop reflecting. You should stop investigating. If you look at the scholars, serious scholars, as they get older, they work harder to get excited. New findings, new findings. If if your aim is, excuse me, if your aim is to come closer to your creator, it means, how can you come closer to your creator? Get an aircraft and go into the heavens, or what? To realize who your creator is, to become aware of his qualities. The more you know something or somebody, the closer you are. So as they, if it is their or somebody's, the real believers, not imitators, real believers, profession is to be a muqarrabun, yeah, one of the muqarrabin. It means those who are drawn closer to God. It means become more aware of his qualities, who your creator is. Yeah. Then he becomes your acquainted. You are familiar with him. You know his quality. If I don't know anything about you, can I be one of your acquaintance? I don't know. I always keep a distance, but I don't know you. You know which kind of person you are. But to get to know you better and better and better, what I do, I trust you more. I come closer to you. It means not physically, but I consult you, etc., etc. Do you understand the difference? So there is no end in getting closer to God, means because we are not in two locations that I'm getting closer. That is the people formulates that it is not real, the method. This is formulates that, Kaaba saying that the Prophet went up to the seventh or stages in the heavens, and then got in the presence of God. But Kaaba saying that is figurative way of teaching it. Yeah, but what does it represent? You are getting closer to someone who never be reached, who never can be reached. Do you understand? Because you can reach only space and time-wise. The creator of the universe is the creator of the space and time-wise, not within the space of time. You cannot reach him. You cannot really touch it. You know the famous Toraic figure of God. A child is hand here, God's finger is here, coming closer but not touching. It is significant, but I don't know how they understand it. This is a figure with a famous picture about it, very famous, very precious, very expensive picture, I think, or the drawings or painting. But it becomes a symbol. It became a symbol among the Christian culture. So there is a significant like this. Doesn't exactly what the Muslim scholarship explained the Kaaba saying, like this, cows say, but doesn't touch it. You know this figure on the minarets, like this. They call it crescent. No, it is the symbol of Miraj, originally. But people don't understand what Miraj is, so they turn it into a crescent. So in this culture, for example, how is presented? Judaism, the Solomon's ring, Khatem, star, and Christianity, cross, Islam, crescent. What does it mean? What does it signify? If you understand that, in some, it is interesting, but the origin of this tradition is very scholarly done. what they do, how can I demonstrate it? Oh, do you have a paper? And
Here you go.
oh, okay. Like the crescent is roughly on the top of the minaret. It means you can. Now, turn it. Doesn't it?
It should turn. Hold it the other way.
Okay.
Like a paper.
Okay. No.
Yeah, like that.
No. I should have it right. No. Okay. This one is better. All right. Now, let me draw it very rough. I'm not a good drawer at all. Now, this is a crescent. Okay. And what they do in architecture, in Islamic architecture, oh, it wasn't a nice one.
Okay. You want to show it to everyone?
Yeah. This is what is significant here. Oh, and maybe there as well. What is significant here? The what do we call it? Cows.
Curvature.
Curvature. Yeah. This curvature is coming closer, without touching,
Each other.
separating. That symbolizes the figurative telling mirage. I don't know whether you have noticed it or not. Do you understand this? That is why you can never touch and see God here, so that you are done. When you see others, it's the end of the story, isn't it? When you see God, what do you have to do? Continue. It's beautiful to me. Now we have to understand this word in this way. So the following verse, we don't have much time. The following verse now directly related to the previous one. If you do this, of course, you can only do this not in worldly affairs. It means worldly tasks, worldly job or work. While you are doing this, turn all of your attention to your Lord. Do you understand how legitimate to understand the previous verse as we explained it, not from one worldly work to another? For example, when you pass the class, first year in college, you have to go into second year. Yeah. When you finish the college, you have to do graduate study. When you do your master degree, you have to do PhD and then postdoctorate. That's what you may hear it in this way. But the following verse tells and clarifies where we should continue our search. Where? Turn your attention ila rabbika farghab. Attention to your farghab, raghba. Sorry? This, no, raghba like this. In the market, if a new type of iPhone is introduced to the market, people's raghba will be on it. Everybody will go after it to get it. Raghba. If a merchandise draws the most of the people's attention, it is called in Arabic the raghba of the human beings went to that merchandise. Yeah. This is the Arabic usage of the word. How about in our subject, or as a Quranic terminology? وَإِلَى رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب, make raghbah to your God. It means all your investigations in your search of the quality of the Creator, where your journey will be directed to. Where? to become a doctor, to become a professional in one, and to become the highest position CEO of a company or something. No, 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 no. To become more and more aware of who your Lord is. So you can understand this verse, the previous verse, verse 7, and the following verse gives your ultimate aim in this world. What is ultimate aim? You have to resume yet another job. You have to resume another job. It means another layer that you have to discover in the creation that you are experiencing, that is provided for you to examine, to study the art in order to know the artist. So examine the qualities manifested in the art, but your journey must be towards your Rabb in order to get to know who your Lord is, who your Lord, who your Rabb is. Not in the worldly sense at all. But in worldly sense, Allah doesn't need us to work, to tell us work. We are crazy about getting higher and higher status and becoming more and more professional in our careers and getting higher and higher position in our career. Everybody, you are a believer, you are a non-believer, atheist, have the same thing. Increase the level of their income. Or if a businessman, increase the level of their profit. Right? There's no end. Some people have, not many people, let's say 1,000, 2,000 in America, have billions and billions on it, maybe trillion. Still, they work. Do you think they read this verse in the Quran? That's why they are making more and more money? Huh? No, nothing to do with it. They don't have to. It is instinct. We are created with this nature. Anyways, we don't need extra encouragement from the Quran. That's why we have to know how to read the Quran, that we understand that this is just فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. But fansab, it means resume another task. Which task? وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب. Get to know your God. Get closer to Him, but to your Lord, who your Lord is. There's no end. So until we die, or we become really impossible not to come to classes or studying the Quran, there is no end. There is no retirement. It is pleasure, isn't it, to get to know your God, and in the confidence, not in imitation, confidence. Then yeah, it must be true, really. Yes, it must be. Yes, it must be. I'm sure. And then even you say at the end, now I understand now. Oh, it is within my potentiality. I realize it now. So even the Quran didn't tell me this, it must be within me that I had to discover. Anyways, but the Quran makes it easy because it is in your potentiality. Quran doesn't teach you or doesn't give you any task which is not within your potentiality. But Quran helps us. That's why it is just rahmah. It means, rahmah means extra guidance. The creation must be enough. Your potentiality must be enough. But without guidance, we don't really turn our potentialities into abilities. That's what the Quran comes there, where we should develop our potentialities into what? وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Inshallah. That's what the Quran says. You know, we have to have these classes with no end. You know, for example, let's say we will have 10 years and the course finished. No, our course never finishes. Yeah, وإذا فرغت فانصب. Our course never finishes. Somebody asked me, the exam, finals were approaching, and they said, come on, give a talk about, encourage people, students, they do that. Students, how to prepare for finals. I said, okay. I studied this way, the Farata Fansab. I didn't say Veila Rabbika Faragab because it was irrelevant to them. This because their interest is not Veila Rabbika Faragab. You turn your attention to your Lord, but turn your attention to finals and get A. That's their A. So I said, okay, I didn't read this one. I didn't. I studied Veida Farat Fensa for them. What was the result? Oh, it's not really helping me. How do I manage my time and how many hours I should sleep, so that how can you arrange my studies with the groups, etc. It's not practical. Oh, okay. If it is not practical, then you are already lost anyways. You are not looking for an answer.
How did that motivation talk go?
It wasn't really a motivation, It talked to motivate for their expectations. But unfortunately, they were, although Muslims, but in Islamic culture, there is no such thing existing now, prevalent. Yeah. But if I said, I know what they were expecting. You know what you have to do? When you first wake up in the morning, recite or say this prayer. It helps you to open up your memory, that you can understand better. So which kind of prayer should we do? Work, man. That's the prayer. Don't go safe. Just sit and study, concentrate on it. Because while they are studying, the iPhone is here. As soon as the iPhone said ping, and then they are studying nowadays. But with under the guidance of the iPhone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم آخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, these short chapters of the Quran are very dense, very interesting, very practical. Alhamdulillah, we are going to study even a shorter chapter afterwards, because this is the 12th revealed chapter. 13th revealed chapter is Asr. It's short. Yeah, very short. One of the second shortest chapter of the Quran. So, but the chapters become shorter, the period of discussions becomes larger because so dense. Inshallah, next week, think about Asr. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa Allah. Okay, wassalamu alaikum, inshallah.
There's no time change this Saturday, right?
There is time, but in Eastern time, Eastern time, standard time, 10 o'clock. But the same waqt. Yeah, the hour is different from waqt, So this Saturday, inshallah, Eastern time, 10 a.m. Inshallah, here. Assalamu alaikum. But the 7 o'clock is 7 o'clock.
For Wednesday.
Yeah, for Wednesdays.